Hey, what's going on, guys? Battle Nation's Emperor here, back today with another video. And today, guys, we're back in the Sandbox A Ocean map, and we are discussing a little fun video today. I decided to take a step back from the statistics, the more serious discussion about the future, and something more fun, something we can still talk about and be constructive with, but something a little bit more laid back, and that is the top 5 coolest looking aircraft. Now, want to clarify, this is not power. In fact, we've done an aircraft tier list with this past month. If you're curious, I can have it linked in the description down below. But this video is strictly going to be going the top 5 cool looking air units. So this has nothing to do with power. This has nothing to do with actual usability. This just has to do off pure freaking fracking aura. Just how cool they look, how cool you want them. And sometimes that's correlated. I mean, obviously, the stronger a unit is, traditionally, the better it looks. But I mean, some units kind of stand out, but also not really. I mean, like, some of them look really cool and they're really powerful, and others look like, this guy right here, a wooden blimp that looks like it'd be easy to take down because it is no armor, and also it looks like it sucks. Nobody wants it. So we're going to be covering top 5 coolest looking aircraft. Of course, this is my own opinion. Could be completely different than your top 5. If you have a different top 5, please let me know in the comments down below. But with all that being said, we'll get it started off today. Starting us off with a very easy number 1 aircraft that's already in the game, and I personally like it. A lot of people like it, and that, of course, is the Pelican. This beautiful bad boy right here. Even made a whole video dedicated to just him alone because of how unique and cool he is. But point being is this: the Pelican is a really cool trainable unit in your dry docks that you can build and can turn into basically your own little aerial fleet. Since it's unlike most aircraft, which you have to win either through an event or a boss strike, you can train up as many of these bad boys as you want. And let me tell you, they're not bad. They're not the most broken unit in the game, but they're pretty good, especially when you consider the fact they're a air unit. So they are a wonder when farming stuff like boars, raptors, mammoths. You can just put one up front and then they can't hit it because, again, it's an air unit. Fantastic little beauty right here. I am personally somebody who believes that aircraft should be reserved for, I guess you could say, boss strikes, and not particularly, I think they're, the greatest thing in the world, and, that boss strikes are, the best, even though I really do like boss strikes. It's just the fact that I like the allure and current luster, the exclusivity, if you will, that aircraft currently has in Battle Nations, and would just love to see that continue. If we are able to, though, however, have a airport, if you will, or some other building in the game that allows us to construct aircraft, I think a good standing or starting point would be something like the Pelican. Even as a person who only wants ball strike aircraft or event aircraft, I have to say the Pelican is a great framework. Absolutely love this guy. I am glad he is in the game. If I had the option to remove him, I wouldn't. And if we are to make more aircraft trainable, I think he should be the base model. Not too overpowered, but certainly has a use and is well loved. Love this guy. Easy number 5 for me. Continuing right along the list, we have something that I think fits this list perfectly, and that is the attack drone. Man, I love this guy. Tier 3 aircraft unit, and as you can see, unlike most aircraft rewards, which are, a plane of some sort, this one just gives you a little drone. I mean, look at this guy. He's a little bit bigger than a trooper, certainly smaller than your average Battle Nations aircraft, and he just looks so outfitting. He has one attack, this bad boy right here, which it's not bad at all. It's a good little explosive attack. And yeah, he is arguably one of the weaker aircraft in the game. No duh, right? But I mean, given the choice between him and a Hurricane, I don't know, unless all my friends have aircraft and like I'm new to the game and like I really need AA, in that case I'm choosing the Hurricane. In all other scenarios, bro, I'm choosing this little guy because like that one attack with some good, flying ability, bro's pretty alright, especially if you get him earlier on. And I love that concept of exploring what air could be, Of course, traditionally it was just, redesigned real world aircraft, some big flying hunk of metal that's green and fights for the Empire. A glorious thing, really, but that's what all aircraft is in Battle Nations. Then you get this guy right here who just completely flips the script, is this cool, random looking miniature unit. You absolutely fall in love with him. And yeah, I think he's adorable. I think Madrona would be very smart to go in this path of having drones we can get. I think more drones in the style of this guy, maybe even some more drones. Like, again, bring them back, but add more drones could certainly work. I think that's the way aircraft and really just warfare in general is moving. So to have more drones certainly wouldn't be unrealistic. And yeah, I think he was a really nice innovation to the ball strike system. I would love to see more miniature aircraft like this, if you will, in future tier 3s. And yeah, I think it was a fantastic system. Easy, I was almost said tier 4, but rank 4 in this list for me. And moving on to number 3. Whew, we have the beautiful flying Dexter fragment. Oh my gosh, dude, I freaking love this guy so much. I've gushed grannies about him like, shoot, multiple videos now. I think I've been talking well about him for like the past year, and I'm gonna keep doing it. Seriously though, this guy dropped on Boss Strike 10. They knew they needed to do something special, so they released this guy, Dr. Vogel. Give him a whole backstory. He's this mad Silver Wolf scientist obsessed with the ancient technology that we fight on a daily basis with the AS and ancient construction. But nevertheless, we go into his boss strike, and it's pretty standard. It's not bad. It's just, pretty standard besides the fact that you fight the literal AC in it. So it definitely raised the stakes, definitely had some harder Silver Wolves and ancient based technology in it. But the hardest thing about it by far is the fact that if you were able to beat it, you got the coolest, the hardest, the sweetest, the nicest ball strike tier 10 at the time. And that was this guy right here, the flying Dexter fragment. Now, he may just look like a regular Dexter fragment with wings, but he is so much more than that. I'm telling you, you had to have been there. But a decade ago, when Ball Strike 10 first dropped and this guy was exclusive to its tier 10 reward, he was the best trophy in the game. Everybody wanted him. Everybody wanted a few of him. If you had multiple, obviously your guild had gotten multiple tier 10s, which was cool. And yeah, this guy was just an overall baller. He made you look cool. He himself looked cool. And Boss Strike 10 was, again, just overall slam dunk out of the park. I mean, besides maybe the Infected, take out the Infected Boss Strike, I'd argue it's one of the best, if not just straight up the best Boss Strike story in the entire game, hands down. It was that good narrative and story-wise. I'm trying to think of anybody else, and yeah, Evelyn doesn't hold a torch to it. Shro, as many boss strikes as they gave her, a quarter of all boss strikes, she honestly didn't really deserve it, even though she is pretty cool, but not a quarter of all boss strikes cool. I could go on, but you guys get the concept. Really nice idea. I love the concept of having these units, but at the end of the day, they just really didn't work on me the same way Dr. Vogel's story and his perfect tier 10 did. So again, had to include this guy in the list because of just how much of an impact he made on me and the rest community. I would adore if Madrona could bring him back the same way, recreate the same feeling in this new generation a decade later, or even make a new unit that inspires the awe and wonder that this flying Dexter fragment did back in the early 2010s. So nevertheless, had to put this guy at number 3. Absolute favorite of mine just from the hype he inspired in all of us. You well deserve this, dude. You take bronze, and it is well deserved. Moving on to silver, second place, we have, oh dude, there's nobody else I could put here besides the Boar Wild Raptor, or more specifically, the B10 Wild Boar. And let me tell you, this guy right here, this Wild Boar, might just be probably the most recognizable aircraft in Battle Nations, and arguably the most beloved. You can ask people what's their favorite aircraft, you'll get a whole bunch of different answers. But I bet if you were to compile the majority of them from most OG Battle Nations players who played the game back in the early 2010s, the number one pick would probably be this guy right here, the Boar 10. And what can you really say about him? What can you say about the Wild Boar that hasn't been said? He's your definition of a cool-looking aircraft in Battle Nations. He set the bar for what a Tier 10 aircraft should be. He was powerful. He had great attacks. He had great HP and armor. He was super versatile, super good at the game itself. And he was so good that they brought him back, but they did something incredible. They didn't ruin his luster and just bring him back as the exact same unit. They gave him a reskin, called it the Boar 2, and released it as its own tier 10 in a future ball strike. I think this is how they should be handled personally. I think this is the best way to do it. You should never lock out a unit for the fan base, but you should always, respect, the original or the OG. I think this was the best way to handle it, and they did it on arguably their most popular aircraft by far, so I love that of Z2. And I mean, what else is there to really say about this guy other than just peak? He is what defined aircraft. He is kind of, I think, the model for all future Battle Nations aircraft. They would all try to compete with this guy, I would say. And besides number one, which is a very special case, I just think this guy is the best looking unit. I think he has the most aura. And you could argue, maybe he needs a stat change here or there, but just going off looks and feel alone, you're not beating this guy. He is just that freaking cool. So with that being said, he makes an easy silver place for this list for me. And finally, we have Gold Spot, first place, in my opinion, the coolest looking aircraft in Battle Nations. And that, of course, is the gorgeous, beautiful UD4L gunship. Oh my goodness, what is there to say about this guy? So, first things first. If you haven't seen this guy before, this is the UD4L gunship. It is arguably one of, if just not straight up, the best aircraft Battle Nations ever released. Here's its stats, and no, these are not the stats of a mega tank I'm showing you, because I'm not going to lie, every time I look at this, just going off stats, it's so similar to the mega tank and so ridiculous for an aircraft, I just assume I'm on the wrong wiki. But no, here's with its picture, as you can see, the UDL4 gunship with 370 HP, already would have made it beefy, but then they just gave it another 230 armor to make it a threat. I mean, this guy, unironically, unlike all the Sovereign Navy aircraft in the game right now, which can get like one-tapped by a boar 10, not boar 10, a M10 Mammoth class, this guy could probably take a few hits from battle class. In fact, I think he could probably go 1-to-1 with the battle class, and battle class would probably still win, assuming they're both max level. But this guy would give it a run for its money, and maybe if he gets good RNG, he possibly could do it. He's that freaking good. So yeah, this guy is absolutely amazing. He is my number one pick because not only is he just viable, I mean, like super strong with an amazing attack pool, and that, of course, just ridiculous armor and HP. So not only is he just incredible strong with all of these tools, he also is just aura farming. Just look at bro. He looks like a futuristic aircraft, and it's not so much to where it's, revolting, but like it looks like it should belong in Battle Nations, which it does. And it looks so different from the green Imperial flying aircraft we've seen all throughout the game at this point. It innovated, it was viable, it looked cool, it felt cool, and yeah, for me it is the only aircraft off Aura that beats the B-10 Wild Boar, simply because of how strong it was, how versatile it was, and how good it was when it first released as its own tier 10. I adore this guy, cannot wait to see more of him, and personally would love to see if he came back as, I was going to say maybe, the 4th or 5th boss strike tier 10, but you know what, let's just go the best out for first. How crazy would it be if he was tier 10 for the first ever boss strike coming back? Man, it's already going to be crazy, but that would make it even crazier. And yeah, guys, that's where we're going to end today's video off on. Just want to make this silly little aura ranking video, if you will, just to discuss the aircrafts and how they look. Again, if you want a more power rankings video, we have a tier list. And yeah, guys, if you need a guild, of course, we have a guild called the Empire, linked in the description down below. Have a competitive main guild and several casual guilds. So whether you're just starting off or want a competitive guild, you're maxed out and want to compete in Battle Nations, we have options for you in the Empire. And yeah, guys, with all that being said, that will do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching this Battle Nations aircraft or ranking video. I greatly appreciate you. And as always, have a great rest of your day. We really didn't make use of this side of the map. I mean, all we did was use this and then just ignore. These maps are gorgeous, man. I need to play with them a little bit more.